Hello, I'm Steve. Welcome to the Patio Heat channel, where we create visual concepts of infrared heating as well as tips for outdoor comfort. Our one-on-one customer support helps you make the best decisions for your applications. We strive to earn your business. Visit our patioheat.com website for sales and more information. Now let's get heating. All right, so this is a residential application, and basically we have about three different seating areas. We have this dining space here, reclining space over here, and then we have a open gabled rooftop or patio, I should say, with maybe some seating area, something of this nature here. And let's go ahead and look at the overall dimensions. So overall dimensions, I have about a 40-foot, 10-foot span from this edge of the wall to this edge of the wall. Inside dimensions here, I have about 12 feet. Outside 3 foot, 13 foot 6, we'll call it. And then we have a ceiling height of about 11 foot 9. That's the important aspect here. Now we're not going to heat up the whole entire space here, but or that's not the goal, I should say. But I'm going to try to heat up the entire seating arrangement here. Now, the seating arrangement may not be as wide. It might be just as wide as this 8-foot span here. And then, by the way, the window I have dropped down from the ceiling at 1 foot 9, just for that information. Over here you can see that we have about a table of about 8 foot wide, we'll call it. And then, you're going to add 2 feet on either side here and here, so it's going to be 12 feet total length. Now, I have placed some fan just display here. I have this fan at 4 foot 6 inches, this fan here at 4 foot 6 inches. I try to place it centered within the span here, and then over the seating position over here. Over here, I do have this fan here at 5 foot 6, and they did give me a drop down of 36, I believe is what that was here. So that one there is more accurate than others, other than the fact I have it placed centered between these two beams, left and right here. So, all right, over here you can see that we have a ceiling height of approximately 15 foot 9 inches, 8 inches, somewhere of that nature. It might be up to here, and that goes down to the finished floor over here. This beam over here I have at 7 foot 4.5 to 8 foot on the top here, 8 foot 4.5. 29 feet this, or excuse me, 19 feet this direction, and 14 foot 11 depth here. And I think that's about it. And the slope I do have at 1 foot 9 inches, 1 foot to 9 inches. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and look at what we can do here. So first of all, we'll take a look at this, and due to the fact that we're going to have fans here, we do need to make sure that we are meeting the clearances to combustible. So what I have here is two 6,000 watt units. Because of the height that we're going to be going at, I have them at 18 inches of clearance below the heater. So let's go ahead and look at that. Whoops. So there we go. So this is 18 inches below the heater, to the left, to the right, to the right and to the left, front and back as well. We got to make sure that we're not pushing it into any of the structure left or right there. And then also, just a side note, you can see that the distances I have here, so you can see here, hopefully this is about 6 foot 1 and 15 sixteenths, 6 foot 1, 15 sixteenths, which is the center that I have roughly from this edge here to the inner edge of the support beams here. And you'll also notice that I have them drop down a little bit. So this is 10 foot 6 1/8. And so you'd have to get the extended brackets in order to do that. But you could place the units up to the ceiling. Let's go ahead and just show what that looks like, and then I'll come back and move those back down here in a second. So that's 6 inches down, or 6 inches up higher. And in any case, you need to make sure that you meet those clearances to the fan blades, if those fan blades are in fact combustible material. If they're non-combustible, you can bring it closer into this area. However, you do not want the footprint of heat, and let me go ahead and just turn that on. You don't want this footprint of heat to penetrate this fan blade, because it will distort that most likely, unless it's made out of such a solid material that it's not going to be distorted. But I still would not recommend any penetration of the ray into the fan blade. But as you can see here, with these 4 units, and they're all placed the same, 8'2" and 1/8 center to center, with that dimensional fan that I have here, you get a pretty good coverage actually. And the only thing that I had mentioned earlier was just the fact that if you drop that down 6 inches, you get a more ideal footprint of heat. You can see that we're still about maybe 6 inches shy of what the manufacturer says is the most ideal. But here you can see that we get an overall coverage of the entire span here, with a little bit of open area here and a little bit of open area over there. But that to me would be a good application. And this isn't a very cold climate, so you're not going to be warm with anything. These are 20,465 BTUs a piece, 6,000 watt units. They're dual element units, CD 6024s. You're not going to be warm below that 50, maybe 45 degree if best, if you're acclimated to that temperature. But anything that you put out there, you're going to need really a lot more units in order to make yourself comfortable. And it's got to be units that aren't going to be overpowered, so that you're not burning yourself as well, so, or feel like you're burning and want to turn the heaters off. So that would be my recommendation down here. The customer did ask in reference to placing maybe some portable units in here. Yes, you could do that. If you did do that, my suggestion would be to run some gas lines, and have some quick connect gas stubs out somewhere around here, 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 and here. And the same with over here, maybe a gas line here, here, and here. And that way you can have a flexible hose natural gas system, where you're not worried about getting propane tanks that only last 10 to 12 hours per tank. That way you have a sufficient amount of fuel all the time available for the units itself. So okay, so that's that application. Looking up here, looking at possibly putting a 6,000 watt heater here, you can see that we are not meeting the clearances to combustibles, and specifically more than the lower clearance is the upper clearance. We're penetrating these beams at this distance. Again, our open distance here is at 5'9" from inside edge to inside edge, and we can see that we're not making the clearances to that. So this would not work in an application like this. So let's go ahead and turn that off right now and look at what would work. Maybe a 5,000 watt unit placed up here. And the 5,000 watt unit is a dual unit as well. It also, it's 39 inches long, sorry. And we have 6 inches of clearance above, 6 inches clearance on the sides. And we're going just a slight downward slope from the slope of the ceiling. You might want to drop that down slightly in order to maintain the clearances over here. You can see that we're not quite making that clearance here, so it'd be best to actually drop that down slightly. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go with maybe just a 3-inch drop. Hold on one second. So yeah, we'll try a 3-inch drop, and maybe a 5-inch drop, and it's going to have to be closer to 6-inch drop. So yeah, 6-inch drop from the ceiling, that's going straight down, and that would be an application that would work for heating not the whole entire space, but a good good portion of the space. You can see that we have some overlapping rays. Now you can see this is the ideal distance the manufacturer states for the comfort heating zone of the heater. You do again have colder climates, and this would not be perfect for all climates. Let's just put it that way. Again, personally at 50 degrees or lower, I start to get cold. I want a lot more heat. So in any case, this would be two 5,000 watt units, and here would be another simulation of two 5,000 watt units where we need to make sure we are maintaining that 12-inch clearance above the ceiling, and so that would be dropped down from the ceiling, from the top edge of the heater 12 inches down. We are meeting all the clearances with regards to the rest of the clearances here. So here you can see that that throw is a little bit further. There is crossover rays here, but if you're sitting here in the middle, I would say that this is not going to be as effective if you're sitting, you know, on the ends here, or even, you know, maybe 6 feet, 8 feet at, you know, at the most inside the center position here. Going back to those dimensions, you know, we're at 19 feet, so that's going to give at least a 2-foot section, a 3-foot section rather, in the middle. That's not going to be a very comfortable spot. So, but you do have rays coming over across each other, so, you know, some people might be comfortable with that. All right, so let's see if there's anything else. Oh, one other thing that I could mention is possibly going with a 6,000 watt unit here, but drop it down, hang it from some sort of maybe chain or something of that nature. And all these heaters are centered with, just like the fan, between these two sets of beams here, or rafters, and drop this down so that the elevation is, let's go ahead and see if we have that on here, and I'm going to pop that in here real quick. 1 second. So you can see here to here. Yeah, we're at just at 11 feet off the finished floor, and that would give you a good footprint of heat throughout this span here, and it would also be very uniform completely throughout the whole span. All right, so last thing I want to say is let's go ahead and turn this off. I'm going to turn the ray off, turn the clearances off so we can see this a little bit better. But and I'm going to actually delete this here. Just a side note, and that is, you know, this area, this home is built in a very nice, has a very nice view, mountain view, and I wanted you to kind of see what that heater system would look like, looking around, you know, at that view that they have here. Now, this isn't their mountain, but I threw a mountain back here just for reference purposes. But when you're looking out the window up here, whoops, it likes to jump around when I have a big item in the background. But in any case, when you're looking out here, you know, this is what this would look like with the two 6,000s. Here is the two 5,000s that are up here, and then here's what the two 5,000s on the outer beams would look like. So in all cases, I think it's a decent view. You know, the ceiling here is going to not, the heaters are, because the ceiling's here, you're not, the heater itself isn't going to diminish the view of the area here. So that's that. Let's go ahead and look over here. Looking out again, you know, we have, sorry about that. Again, it just moves around a lot quicker when there's a big item in the background, as big as what I have there. But in any case, let's see here. If we put the 6,000 watt units here, you know, this is the 6,000 watts, I think, on the ceiling. So, you know, looking outside, that's going to be the view that you're going to have here with that setup here. So, and then if we went ahead and dropped these down, that 6 more inches, that's what it would look like here. So the 6 inches will take up a little bit of that view, but, you know, ultimately I think this would be a better application as far as the heat is concerned. And if you had a freestanding heater here, you know, in here, or however you might have that, you know, you're going to see those freestanding heaters just as much as the heaters that you see up here. So, all right, well, I hope this has helped. If you're looking for some assistance with your outdoor heating application and you'd like us to review your plans, please send your information into designs@patioheat.com. I'm Steve. please tap that like button if you find this video useful. We don't advertise, we're not monetized. YouTube does not promote our channel in any way unless we receive a thumbs up from our viewers. And we thank you so much. Have an excellent day.